hold on a second. So you want accountability for criminals. Is that right, Tim?
Yes.
Okay. Then why would you support a 34-count felon?
What's going on, everybody? It's Grant here with another episode of The Argument Audit. I'm currently working on a larger debate right now, but I wanted to give you guys something to sink your teeth into in the meantime. So here he is, the angry little ginger, Brian Shapiro, on one of his many appearances on Timcast IRL. So Brian's over here discussing immigration and, of course, his favorite topic, Donald Trump. Honestly, I don't get it, guys. The Don just lives in this poor guy's head. It's kind of sad at this point. But before we get into that, guys, please do give me a like and subscribe. We're a growing channel, and I really appreciate it. Plus, if you hit that notification bell, you'll get notified the second we drop a new video. All right, let's get into it.
You're making a lot of arguments that are not related to each other. You can
talk about immigration.
Let's try this. I have prioritized the field mouse problem in this building, and I have told all of the staff here my priority is the field mice. But one day Tate walks in and I caught a cricket and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing to the crickets? Why the fuck won't you stop the field mice?" And I'm like, "Bro, we got the field mouse traps everywhere. You're just looking at the one instance where I've caught a cricket. Why are you mad at me?"
There's also more crickets.
We're talking about healthcare. We're talking about immigration. What has Donald Trump in the last 9 years that has helped us when it comes to our healthcare?
You have no examples to prove they are not prioritizing violent criminals.
I just gave you the statistic.
No, you're telling me that they've gotten people who are not violent criminals, who perhaps are easier to apprehend.
No, they haven't gotten people, the majority of people that they have apprehended.
Because they're easier to apprehend. But does that mean they're not focused or prioritizing criminals? You're not making an argument.
So getting ICE agents to show up outside of courtrooms
is not a question of priority. It's a question of you saw a thing happen.
They said their priority. This is Tom Homan's own words.
Okay, how many agents are focused on narco gangs, cartels, etc.?
I don't have the numbers.
Exactly. You're not making an argument.
More people have been deported.
That's
that are
not related to what you're saying.
I figure the prioritization
I think you lack the cognitive ability to connect the dots.
No, I think I do, and I think this comes down to...
Let's try this again. A priority doesn't mean the outcome is guaranteed.
I understand that.
So pointing out a bunch of non-violent criminal aliens were arrested doesn't mean they're not prioritizing violent criminal aliens.
Okay, well, it doesn't appear to me that they are. And if you think that they are...
that's an opinion and not an argument.
Well, if you think that they are, then you're entitled to your opinion. But I don't believe that they are. When you're tackling people and non-violent criminals outside of courthouses in front of Home Depot or teachers, I've seen the videos.
Not a question of priority.
You don't even need to track anybody for that. They're showing up to the courthouse and telling you who they are. So,
and that's not a question of priority.
To track the criminal.
These things you're pointing out are two different situations.
You pointed out that 40% of those deported are violent criminals. That's outsized from the percentage of illegal immigrants that are here that are actually violent criminals. So Trump is actually punching above his weight when it comes to deporting violent criminals.
I want violent criminals out of this country.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
They're all criminals.
Clear on that.
So he's doing really well.
Oh boy. So Brian just dives right into it with the logical fallacies, guys, right off the bat. So first off, we have equivocation. So this is where you alternate between two meanings of a word in order to obfuscate your point. What he's doing specifically is equivocating on the definition of what prioritizing means. So he acknowledges that prioritizing means a top concern on one hand, but then he shifts it to the other definition where he's saying only or almost exclusively. In his initial statement that ICE says it's prioritizing violent criminals, he uses the first definition. And then when he tries to make his point, he uses the second definition. It's something that high-level debaters use, but someone like Brian's probably just using it incidentally. He honestly just kind of thinks that way. The second logical fallacy he's using is called false dichotomy, or a false dilemma. Essentially, you falsely frame the problem as only having two options, instead of a problem which may have several options. It's a purposeful oversimplification of the problem. Think George Bush during the Iraq War years, where he said, "You're either with us or against us." The false dichotomy is what simplifies the problem in a way that's deceptive. The false dichotomy here is that Brian's framing it like you can either only arrest violent criminal illegal aliens, or you can only arrest non-violent criminal illegal aliens. Clearly, there's more to it than that. And lastly, he's using what's called non sequitur, which is Latin for does not follow. It's when the conclusion that you attempt to draw does not logically follow from that premise. So an example would be something like, birds have beaks, octopi have beaks, therefore octopi are birds. In this case, Brian is claiming that ICE is prioritizing arresting criminal illegal aliens. ICE is also arresting non-violent criminal illegal aliens. Thus, ICE is not actually prioritizing violent criminal illegal aliens. In some ways, I gotta hand it to Brian. I mean, he just effortlessly wrapped all these three fallacies right into one and packaged it with a nice, neat little bow. But like I said before, I honestly don't even think he's doing this intentionally. I think he just thinks in a fallacious way. So I can't really hold this against him. He's just kind of a dummy.
Hold on a second. So you want accountability for criminals. Is that right, Tim?
Yes.
Okay. Then why would you support a 34-count felon?
He's not a felon.
This is the craziest whataboutism I've ever seen.
What was he charged with?
Not whataboutism.
What's the criminal charge?
Is he a 34-count felon, convicted
not.
felon? Yes or no?
No.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He wasn't sentenced, but he was
Nope.
convicted by a jury. Was he not?
It's not.
Was he found guilty or not guilty of 34 counts?
What were the charges?
I'm asking you a question.
The answer is no.
Why do you answer the question? Maybe
answer-
you're the one with the cognitive difficulties.
The
Why don't you
answer is
my
no.
question?
The answer is no. The answer is no again, no again, no again. Now tell me what he was charged with.
So wait, the jury did not find Donald Trump guilty.
Correct, yes.
I mean, the earth isn't flat, Tim.
What was he charged with?
What? Wait, you just said a jury did not find him guilty.
Indeed, that's correct.
Where are you getting that from?
Because Trump was never actually charged with any real crimes.
Okay, so you're saying...
So hold on. Is your argument, did a group of people come together
whether
and
you agree or not is not the question, okay?
Well, so we're having a conversation on the logic and the facts of the matter. And the facts of the matter is Trump was not legitimately charged with any crime. So he can't be found
That's your
guilty.
opinion? That's your opinion.
It's a fact.
Okay, it's a fact.
It is indeed a
So
fact.
a jury found him guilty.
Of what?
You're wrong.
Of what?
Okay.
Of what?
You say
Of what?
34-count
Of what?
felon.
Of what?
Okay,
Of
well,
what?
did he
Of
not...
what? Of
I'm
what?
answering
Of
it.
what?
I'm answering it. Did he not make up and falsify business records?
He did not.
He did not.
That wasn't the case. Did you watch? Did you check?
I did.
So who actually?
So he
was
didn't break
accused-
the law.
Who was accused of it?
He didn't break the law?
Who he did not. Well,
Okay.
Perhaps
So
maybe.
in your opinion... Oh, perhaps
maybe
Okay,
no.
right.
Okay, stop. I'm going to mute you if you try and play that stupid stuff because you interrupt me while I'm making the point that perhaps
Go ahead.
maybe
I'm listening.
perhaps maybe it was a misdemeanor falsification of business records from his CFO. Perhaps, maybe. Don't cut me off when I say perhaps, maybe, to change the context of what I'm saying. Donald Trump was accused of misdemeanor falsification of business records by instructing a lower staffer we don't know he actually instructed. All because of Cohen making a claim about paying Stormy Daniels. This cannot be upgraded to a felony because it's what's called requiring an underlying crime, which never in the history of the United States has been done before. Donald Trump, in this charge, was convicted falsely.
In your opinion?
It's not an opinion. It is a fact.
So the judge got it wrong. The
Indeed.
courts got it wrong.
Absolutely.
But you got it right.
What was the underlying crime?
The problem I have...
Answer the fucking question.
What was the underlying
Yes.
crime? 34 counts.
Of what?
Okay. Falsifying business records was certainly
Underlying
one of
crime.
them.
Name it.
I don't have it right in front of
There
me.
isn't one.
Okay, but so you're saying that the judge got it wrong, the jury got it wrong, he had the right to defend
For the love
himself
of all
in a
that is
courtroom.
holy,
They
this
all
is
got
the
it wrong.
problem with
Okay.
this country.
They all got it wrong.
What is the underlying crime?
He was convicted in a court of law, Tim.
What? Oh my God. What is the underlying crime?
What is the underlying crime?
Okay, let's stop.
I think Tim wants you to point it out.
Let's wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
What was he charged with? Just give me the sentence. Give me the single phrase.
What I know is that he was a 34-count felon convicted.
Oh
in a
my
court of
God!
law. That's what I know.
What was he
I don't have
charged
the
with?
case. I don't have the case right in front
You
of me.
don't know.
I don't have the case right in
You
front
are
of
in
me.
a cult.
I'm
You
in
are a
cult?
cultist.
How am I a
Yes.
cultist?
You don't know what you're talking about, and
I
you're
don't know what I'm
zealously
talking
arguing
about.
for it.
I don't know what I'm talking about. You're the one who just looked me in the eye and told me that a jury did not find him guilty. Now you can
Stop. Let's try this
disagree
again.
with it. You
What
can-
was he charged with?
Again,
You don't know? Do you know or do you not know?
he falsified business records. Okay.
What's the charge?
I don't have the charges.
You
right
don't
in front of
know,
me.
do you?
I don't.
Maybe you should then
have
say,
the
I
charges right
don't
in front of
know.
me.
Maybe. How about you say this? I don't know.
You can tell me what
You
the
say, I don't
charges
know?
are, but he was still convicted in a court of law.
Do you want to say,
can
I don't know?
disagree with it.
He
I don't
was-
have it right in front of me. That doesn't mean that I'm wrong with what I'm saying.
It
He was still
certainly
convicted.
does because you don't know what you're talking
So
about.
he wasn't found guilty in a court of law.
He was not found guilty in a court of
That's
law.
the only point I was making.
Of a criminal action for which falsification was an aggravated factor. You don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
It is one of
So-
the most controversial cases in U.S. history where for the first time an aggravated charge was placed without the government proving an underlying case. They upgraded misdemeanors, which require an underlying crime, but they never proved a crime
So let me ask you a
actually
question.
happened.
Then why couldn't his attorneys prove that in a court of law?
They did! Bro, this is why it's under appeal and they have not issued a sentence yet.
So in our country,
You don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, here's what I do.
You can't even name the charges. You don't know who is who.
Just because I can't name the charges doesn't mean he wasn't convicted in a court
Who
of law.
falsified the records?
Well, he didn't falsify the records per se, but people that were doing it, that were
Okay,
behind
all right,
it
let's
were.
slow down. Let's slow down and calm down. You don't know the facts of the case.
Do you know all the facts in the case?
I know
you have more.
plenty
You have more evidence than what the jury heard.
I have a good plenty of more evidence than you to found my arguments.
Okay, but did you have the evidence that the jury had?
Indeed, it was all released.
Oh, you had all the evidence that the jury saw.
So we're not going to speak in absolutes. The American public was privy to the information and the jury testimony, and juries gave up.
All right, so he's innocent. He didn't do anything wrong. The left went after him. It was George Soros.
Make a real argument.
So poor Brian is way out of his depth here. The guy's a propagandist who just kind of parrots talking points. He doesn't actually critically think about stuff. So when Brian says 34 felonies, what he's actually referring to are not 34 separate, discrete crimes. There were 34 records, which could be ledgers, invoices, or checks, that prosecutors tried to argue were part of a greater concealment scheme. Each record was actually then expanded to be its own felony count. But as we all know, Trump didn't actually falsify these records himself. His CFO did. Thus, it's on New York State prosecution to prove that Trump directed his CFO to falsify these records. This is what Tim is talking about when he says requiring an underlying crime. Thus, the prosecution would have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump directed his CFO to alter these records, which would constitute the concealment scheme, which, outside of a Michael Cohen hearsay claim, they absolutely failed to do. But guys, we all know what was going on. The prosecution wanted a felony conviction on Trump's record, even if it meant there would be no jail time. This was done in an attempt to disqualify him from running for president. And mind you, not to legally disqualify him. There's nothing in our Constitution that says a felon can't run for president. But it was to disqualify him in the minds and the hearts of the people, especially the law and order Republicans who would never elect a felon just on principle. This was just one part of a concerted effort to ruin Trump's reputation ahead of the 2024 election, knowing that he was going to stomp Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or whoever the hell ran against him. It's the same concerted effort that saw him getting charged for overvaluing Mar-a-Lago, and the same concerted effort that saw him charged for essaying E. Jean Carroll. The woman was insane, completely not credible. And that's why, from a legal perspective, this was such a perplexing case. That's because it was part of something greater. It was part of a political hit job. Not to be confused with a political hijab like Ilhan Omar wears. But I got to admit, it's hilarious watching Brian spout this crap over and over, especially against somebody like Tim, who knows this stuff forwards and backwards. That's why Tim is just shredding him on every single point. But Brian's not alone. Most leftists don't actually understand the specifics of the case. They just see Trump guilty, and they think that's great. They don't think any deeper than that.
Okay, sure. You have a 6-year-old daughter, right? Which, by the way, congratulations.
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought you had a daughter. I
do, but she's not 6.
Well, by the way, congratulations on that.
I appreciate it.
So
now we're nice again.
I like good-spirited debates. I like this stuff. So, Tim, if your daughter was 12 or I don't know how old she is, but if she was 12 or 13 years old and she was in a pageant and a creepy man went in there without her permission and talked about it sexually on the Howard Stern show, which he did.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Yep.
Were we
I don't know what's funny about that.
Are we just talking? We're just talking about the court case.
We're talking about the
Trump.
moral aspect of Donald Trump now because we've talked about morals.
Oh, he's a pig.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have
he's got serious decorum problems and attitude problems.
Forget about
He did stop World War III, though.
Forget about the legal argument for a moment, okay? Forget about the legalities of Donald Trump. I'm just asking.
So he's not a felon.
Why should we forget about that?
Well, because I'm asking about morals now. I'm talking about the moral aspect of why I don't support him, okay? And I'm trying to have a conversation with you about morals. Are you comfortable? You're comfortable with the leader of the free world being a liable sexual abuser who's had dozens of women that have accused him of rape or sexual assault, including his ex-wife in court documents?
That's all bad.
It's all really, it's kind of really bad, isn't it?
You know what? I have a trouble with the United States of America, especially because Barack Obama murdered a 16-year-old American citizen by bombing a civilian restaurant in Yemen. Whataboutism?
Can we just pause for a moment that Brian goes, oh, whataboutism? Whataboutism? Like, he did the same thing to Rachel Wilson when he said, oh, ad hominem attacks. First off, that wasn't an ad hominem attack. An ad hominem attack is not when you hurl a personal insult during a debate. It's when you use that instead of your argument, as in your argument is a personal attack on the person's character instead of actually formulating something logical. That's what an ad hominem attack is. But you get the feeling that Brian, read these definitions on the way to the debate, and he's like, oh, I'll just use that. That sounds great. Whataboutism, dude, everything he says is a whataboutism. All of it relates back to Trump. He'll just bring Trump up in random topics that aren't even tangentially related to Trump. That's whataboutism. I feel bad for this guy. I don't know if he just has a humiliation kink or something and just keeps putting himself out there because he gets off on it. I'm starting to think that. Now I'm having the gross thought that maybe I'm contributing to Brian getting his rocks off. Ugh, I'm deleting this channel.
I asked you a question about Donald Trump.
I agreed with you.
So why would you support somebody like that?
For the same reason that people probably support Obama murdering children. The issue is
about Kamala. Name me one thing that Kamala Harris has done in her life.
Let's slow down and say the issue at hand is. We always call this the lesser of two evils, and we could take a look at Donald Trump being slovenly and perverted and whatever you want to call him, and these are bad things. And I'm like, wow, this is why I didn't vote for him in 2016. And then you can take a look at what else you're up against, and you've got Joe Biden, warmongering crony who sold out this country to his brother for Iraqi contracts and 10% of the big guy, and the list goes on. You can take a look at the extension of the Obama administration, where Obama killed tons of children. He has the record for most children murdered by a Nobel Peace Prize holder, and most notably was the extrajudicial assassinations of Anwar al-Awlaki and Abdurrahman al-Awlaki. Now you can make the arguments about Anwar al-Awlaki being a jihadi, but he was an American, and we have due process. But then you get Abdurrahman al-Awlaki, who was a 16-year-old American citizen who was at a civilian restaurant in Yemen, and Obama blew him up. And when Obama was asked about it, he said, "Oops." Oops. And so they come to me and say, Trump's a pig. And I'm like, yeah, you got that right.
So first of all,
and then I've got to choose who I'm voting for on this one. And I'm going to tell you, you know what? They all suck.
Well, Trump didn't run against Barack Obama, and I didn't vote for Barack Obama.
Biden,
I'm not here to defend Barack Obama.
No, I'm talking about Joe
Donald
Biden.
Trump because you support Donald Trump.
Indeed. And
you're okay with supporting a pig who probably sexually abused a lot of people, who was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He was best friends.
Now you're making things up.
Found liable in a court of law for sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll. His own wife.
Play this game?
His own wife.
You don't want to play
a game.
You don't know the facts of the case.
Okay, well, let's talk about the 25 other women.
No, let's do the E. Jean Carroll thing.
Okay. So Barack Obama.
Tell me what happened.
So hold on. Barack Obama's. I will.
No, you brought it up.
Barack Obama is a murderer, and yet he was never convicted. It never was shown in a court of law. Nothing ever proven. But you can make blatant statements, Tim.
I'm not retarded.
I'm not retarded either. Okay, I'm a pretty smart guy.
When a court of law says a thing is true, that doesn't mean it's true.
Gotcha. So unproven in a court of law, but Barack Obama's a murderer, and you're totally okay saying that. But Donald Trump never sexually abused anybody, even though liably found guilty in a court of law.
Let's slow down a minute. See, I'm
just asking you.
This is the issue with liberals. You don't know.
I'm not a liberal. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm a registered independent. You just called me a liberal. Let's be factually accurate, Tim.
The left.
Okay, I'm not the left.
You don't know.
I didn't vote for Obama. I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton.
You are left.
Okay, well, you can say that, and I can call you a hard MAGA right, but it doesn't mean that you're right.
Too. But there's clearly distinct factions in the culture war, and there's a left and a right, which defines the overall.
I don't like sexual abusers. I would never vote for somebody like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Well, you did.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so Donald Trump never sexually abused anybody.
Tell me
the 25 women lied. His own ex-wife in court documents in a deposition. She under oath. His ex-wife said that he raped her.
You know what your issue.
He went into teenage girls' locker rooms without their permission.
Bad things. Yeah, bad things.
Oh, that's just bad.
Those are real bad. Those are real bad.
Locking the keys in my car is a bad thing. That's despicable.
So tell me the case.
You have a daughter. Well, hold on a second. I just talked about going into teenage girls' locker rooms.
I don't. You don't.
Donald Trump bragged about it on the Howard Stern show. Which case? E. Jean Carroll?
E. Jean Carroll.
So you want to go through the case.
You said proven in a court case. I said, tell me about it.
The jury found him liable.
You can't.
The jury found him liable.
Boy, that one was a doozy, y'all. Brian's shaping up to be a fantastic case study for how not to think. Plus, is there a better inspiration out there for not skipping arm day? The dude has the gut of a Chevron owner and arms like a 6-year-old girl. Jesus Christ. You know, seeing Brian and Tim hanging out actually makes me think, what if Brian's not that bad of a guy? I mean, we all have people in our lives, family, friends, loved ones, whose retardation is solely relegated to the political realm. You know, they're good people otherwise. But then I remember how he treats the Wilsons, especially Andrew's wife, Rachel, and all charitability goes out the window. Brian's an asshole. Anyways, guys, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks. Have a good one.